is Jillian Porter. I'm a Master of Social Work student with the University of Windsor, and I'm completing my placement with Barnes Management Group and doing a lot of work with Canadians and Refugees Building Bridges Together, or CRBBT. And so we just wanted to take a moment to thank you for attending our webinar this evening or this morning or whatever time it might be where you are right now. So I'd like to take a moment to just introduce my colleague, Kiana Reeve, who's also going to be co-hosting the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Jillian. I've been with BMG for the past couple months, just doing my placement, also at the University of Windsor doing Masters of Social Work. Athlete and on my third level of education now, so a little tired, but we're doing good. So tonight, before we get started, I'd like to go over a few points to help the webinar run a little bit more smoothly. We ask that all participants keep their microphones muted. The moderators for this webinar are Jillian, myself, and Mian. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the chat function to either send a message to the group or directly to one of us. There will be a question and answer period at the end, so if possible, if you can just maybe take note of your questions or just wait until the end, that would be appreciated. You can either use the chat or you can raise your hand, and then we can call upon each of you and answer your questions. And now I'm going to call upon our third co-host, Mian.
Thank you, Kiana. Hello, everyone. What a wonderful evening. And I'm so glad to see all of you. My name is Mia, and I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of Canadian and refugees building bridges together. This is a very unique and life-changing humanitarian project where we believe that humanity does not have any borders and every human deserves a free life. I joined David last year after getting inspired by his humanitarian efforts and a genuine commitment towards building caring communities. Now, let me share with you a brief agenda. So I will quickly share this agenda with you as we have to quickly change the order also. Shams has to leave. After I'm going to ask David for the welcoming remarks, and then Shams, he is the first keynote speaker, and I'm hoping if Rahmat can join. Until now, I cannot see him, but if he will join, then he will share his experience with us. And then after that, we have two sponsors. Actually, our co-host, Jillian, she is what a wonderful human being herself, and David, both of them, they are sponsors as well. So they are going to share with us their sponsor journey. Then we have a refugee story from Indonesia, a short video which we're going to share with you, and a virtual tour of artwork which we received from many of our friends from Indonesia. After we will give you quickly a tour of our different databases and a new endeavor, which is ARIST, an online course which we are going to share with you. It's a launch ceremony as well. And then at the end, again, we would request David Barnes to talk about corporate social responsibility and how to become involved, and then question and answer. So that's all about, and we have a lot to learn, I should say, from this amazing project. And now I would ask David to update our audience about CRBBT. And before asking David, I just want to tell you that David is not only the founder of Barnes Management Group, which is a management consultancy firm, but also he is the founder of this incredible project. And he has personally sponsored many refugees. At BMG, we believe that corporate social responsibility is not just an individual's responsibility, it's a shared responsibility, and we all should come together to build caring communities. So David, I would like to request.
And I really appreciate your comments. And before I start, I want to welcome a friend here who's sitting next to me. Many of you can see Marty. Marty joined us in Toronto not a week ago, even last Wednesday. And so some of you in Indonesia will know him already, but we are so happy that he's here. And I want you to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, before I say, yeah, hi to everyone. I'm Mahdi Arman. Glad to see you in this Zoom meeting. So I arrived a few days ago. So I'm so happy to hear and hearing from you.
Thank you, Madi.
Yeah.
You can just imagine how many things are going on in Madi's mind these days after only being in Toronto for a few days. But I just want to welcome people here, and we're so grateful that those of you who could make it are here, and there's many more that we will be sharing this video, this webinar with after tonight. And our whole purpose of this is just to raise awareness of how individual Canadians can make a difference. And so wonderfully appreciative of the leadership that Mian has given, and Kenna and Jillian. It takes a village to do this work, and that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create a community of people who care. And so tonight we want to give you a glimpse of that community, and hope we get more people involved as we raise awareness of how individual Canadians can make a difference in people's lives. So I'm going to stop at that point and turn it back to you folks.
I think we can ask Shams as he has to leave. If Shams, you would like to start and sharing your life story and your experience as a refugee.
Hello, everybody who are joining us from anywhere in Canada. Good evening to you all, and other refugees who are joining us from Indonesia. Good morning to you. I know it's early morning there, but thank you for waking up and coming to join us at this wonderful event. Well, Mahdi's expression, his face expression tells everything. He's happy, he's safe, and he is at his sponsor house and had a nice meal and dinner with David tonight. And this is the dream of every single refugee in Indonesia. Like just to have a normal dinner with someone else in a safe country. And without further going into details, I think it was not just Mahdi's dream, but everybody's dream who made it to safety in Canada, that they would be able to exercise their very basic human rights that we here in Canada take for granted. A year and a half ago, I was also locked up in one of the Indonesian detention centers, dependent on the mercy of the world, that they would, the world would open its heart, its heart on me and give me a second chance in life. And I became connected through my years of writing on the living conditions of refugees. I became connected with a Canadian family who told me, hey, I live in Burlington, Ontario. We have 3 bedrooms in our house. One is for me and my husband, and one is for our son. And we have another spare room in our house, and it is sitting empty. I think I live a very privileged life, and I have so much freedom. And I would be very happy to help you come and use this bedroom sitting empty in my house. And that's how it started. So here I am now, a year and a half later in Canada, contributing back to Canadian society. And since my arrival in Canada, I started school at the University of Toronto. I have won several awards. I was on the 2023 CBC nonfiction longlist, and I became the writer in residence at George Brown College for 2 consecutive years, and through Pay in Canada. And I also won a mentorship from Writers Trust of Canada and there's also a documentary coming out on my story, and with the support of Stephen Watt and another amazing friends in Australia who's supporting refugees in Indonesia, get resettled in Canada through a private sponsorship program. The reason I mention all these achievements and accomplishments is because this would not have, none of this would have been possible if I were still trapped in the Indonesian refugee camp. And my time was going, into the West pointlessly. But here I am now in Canada. I'm contributing back. I'm doing what I can to give back to this wonderful country that has opened its borders on me. I think this is an important cause for all of us. As Mian said, that it's not an individual sense of understanding somebody's situation, but it's a common sense of humanity that we should have for those who are less, fortunate than us. I think by becoming a sponsor and not having any financial commitment, you're not just changing someone's life, but you're also giving them a chance to rebuild their shattered life, and they will help their families in their country of origin not to go to bed hungry at night. I can tell you that since I have come here, many other refugees that survived the Indonesian prison camps, they are working, they're making money, they're paying tax, and those taxes are funding our healthcare system, and those taxes are funding, going to the government, and they're, building the roads, and we're living in peace. And I think, I hope that we, understand that refugees or newcomers in Canada are not economic refugees. They are hardworking people. They fled their countries because of persecution and conflict, and there was no way for them to remain in their country of origins. That's why they become obliged to flee their country and sought asylum and protection in another country, and where they remained for many, many years. So I urge everybody, if you are in a position to do something, get involved with Canadian and refugees building bridges together, and they will provide you with all the resources, how to become a sponsors or how to get involved with, in at least in refugee settlement. I mean, there are millions of ways to contribute, but just the point is that maybe get in touch with the refugee in Indonesia, and it will enrich your life. I mean, I'm so happy that I can see Maddie tonight smiling. I think that makes me a lot happy. I wish we could bring everybody from Indonesia here, not just Indonesia, but that's the starting point. We could, expand our work, but it takes one individual to step up. I think David feels great when he sees more people are coming. He's going to the airport, and I remember that at one of the airport arrivals, I saw a refugee coming to being sponsored to Canada, looked at one of his sponsors' eyes, and the tears dropped down his eyes, and he became speechless. All he could muster to say was, "Thank you for bringing me to Canada. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for taking a second chance on my life." I don't think that would be a more powerful sentence than that. If somebody could come and tell you that, "I owe my life to you. Thank you for standing up for me," while the entire world turned its back. And with that, I end my talk. Thank you for giving this platform and the chance to share how I feel as a newcomer in Canada. I think I'm free, I'm blessed, and I do what I can in the best of my possibility and ability to continue on the journey of raising awareness so more Canadians become aware and contribute to this important cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shams. And as you very rightly said, we wish if we could bring all of them, but due to the limitation of resources, that's much challenging part. But this is the beauty of this collaboration and this humanitarian project. The more we raise the awareness, the more people will join us, and the more we can bring, those people into Canada. So thank you so much, Shams. And now I would like to ask Rahmat. I believe Rahmat is with us. If he can turn on his mic and if he can share his journey with us.
Yeah, I've been here listening all the time.
Hey, Rahmat, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. So, good evening, everyone, and I'm so glad seeing everyone here, and also I'm very happy seeing Mahdi here finally in Canada, because since personally, I and Mahdi, we knew each other. We were in the same immigration detention center for like few years. So I'm very overjoyed seeing him here finally in Canada. So I guess Shams explained like most of the things. So I'm just going to say just a few things very shortly. So yeah, my name is Ramad, and I live here in Toronto, Ontario right now. So on 2020, I received while I was in Indonesia, I received an email from a stranger man, which I now call a best friend, a family, and my sponsor right now. I received the email that said, I would like to get to know you more, and I would like to talk to you in details. So we shared, WhatsApp numbers, and yeah, we continued talking on WhatsApp. He was just interested in getting to know about like what I do, and where I was from, and like why I was in Indonesia, like in general and details, and why I was stuck there. So I just, yeah, talked about my story, and I just explained about the overall situation of refugees in Indonesia, and what we were going through as refugees in Indonesia. And I guess we were talking like regularly based on daily basis, and sometimes like every week. And we built a very strong friendship and communication that he finally showed interest in, personally sponsoring me to Canada. And I started my process on 2020, and I arrived here in Canada last year on November the 3rd. So, even though life hasn't been very easy here, because I mean, like, it's not easy anywhere. But one thing that I'm very glad and grateful for is that in Canada, nobody is threatening me, or nobody is discriminating me just because I'm a refugee, or for my status, or where I come from, and what language do I speak, and what religions do I believe. So that is one thing, that I'm really glad and grateful about being in Canada, and I feel fortunate about that. And that is something, unfortunately, refugees in Indonesia, they are missing. Like, refugees in Indonesia, they have been stranded there like for 7, 8, 9 to 10 years right now, and they are already deprived of their basic human rights. They cannot, they are not allowed to go to work. They are not allowed to study, enroll to school or college or universities or anything. And they even don't have the right to travel on something. So that, state of uncertainty and long period of staying in Indonesia, it has caused many of them to struggle with mental health and anxiety, a lot of stress, and unfortunately, some of them, have committed suicide due to the overwhelming situation of refugees in Indonesia. It's I feel very, sad and angry about that, because many of those people I knew personally that were really talented, experienced, and had great potential to grow and to contribute into the society. But unfortunately, they are stuck in a place where they cannot do anything, where they are locked up and they are caged. So by sponsoring, I believe by sponsoring those refugees, yes, for sure, you're sort of helping them and supporting them. But also, on the other hand, it is not just helping and supporting those refugees. It kind of works two ways. By supporting and getting them to Canada, you're not only helping them, but also you're trying an adventure. You're bringing something new into your life. And your support, yes, impacts in somebody's lives in a good way, but it also impacts in your own life. Because I actually have been interviewing few sponsors in Canada, and pretty much all of them shared the great experiences that they had with the newcomers, all the positivity that they bring to their lives, the cultural gifts and things that they bring to their sponsors, and the lessons and the experiences and all those things which I believe are a gift to someone's life. So by involving in a sponsorship program, it is not just helping refugees, but it's also, changing your life in a good way.
So we're just having a bit of technical difficulties here.
The numbers were removed.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Ramat, for sharing that. We always appreciate hearing from you. So thank you so much. I believe Kiana is up next.
Yeah, so I just have some questions here actually for Jillian and David. I don't know if you guys want to go back and forth or like popcorn style, but the first thing that I want to ask the both of you are, what is the most important part of becoming a sponsor?
Hey, Jillian, why don't you take off that question? I'll go next.
Sure. So for me, I would say the most important part of becoming a sponsor would be the relationship that we've built with the couple that we're sponsoring. So once the initial connection was made during one of our Sunday morning Zoom calls, these people automatically became a huge part of my life, and we talk regularly. So getting to know each other has been really incredible. And now every time I go out or do something in my community, I think about how excited I am to share those experiences with our new friends. And it hasn't been that long, but this relationship is already just so important to me.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And there's not a lot I can add except that the simple act of becoming a sponsor, like Ramat said, can change our lives forever, and has changed mine. And, you know, it's not very often in our world that is filled with so many crises and chaos that we don't feel we can do much. But this is one time when we can truly make a difference. And it makes a profound difference, like Ramat said, in somebody else's life, plus our own life. And so for me, that has been one of the most rewarding things that I've experienced in this journey that I'm just getting started as well.
Beautiful. What is something that you both have learned by actually going through the process? So not just something based on research, but something you actually learned by going through the actual sponsorship process.
Yeah, so I mean, prior to starting my placement with the Barnes Management Group in September, I had never even heard of the private sponsorship of refugees program. So I kind of started learning about the program and what it is right around the exact same time that I actually met the couple that were sponsoring. And I immediately decided to get my friends on board to build a team for them. So I think a lot of Canadians don't know about private sponsorship, or they think it's too difficult, or that they can't afford to do it. And the thing that I've learned is that you don't have to have any special skills or even your own funds available in the bank to be a sponsor. You just have to have an earnest desire to help and make a difference in somebody else's life. And you know, for us, my team will be funding our sponsorship almost exclusively through fundraising, as we're all young professionals just starting out and getting settled into our own lives. But that hasn't stopped us from embarking on this journey, and it's really something that anyone can do if they only, you know, want to help somebody else.
Thank you for that. I have a couple of things to add to that, but it's along the same lines. And I think one of the things that has occurred to me, what I'm quite aware of now, is how many wonderful people there are who care around us, the other Canadians. So when you reach out and you talk to your friends, you talk to your community, I think of how many people I have met that share the same values that I share and want to become involved. And so we build a community of like-hearted people amongst ourselves as well as with newcomers. So I think again, where Matt said, it's a two-way street where we get to meet incredible people who care that we become friends with as well. And I think of Madi here tonight. I never knew any of his sponsors before we connected through some social media, some neighborhood network that we connected with. And all of a sudden we got to know these people. So that's what I wanted to say. It's just so wonderful to have that experience.
Was the meeting with that?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, both of you. Okay, so those are very positive. So how about what are the biggest challenges that you faced? What is something that maybe we could prepare someone that wants to engulf in sponsorships?
It would be the last point that I touched on for us. The fundraising has been the most challenging part just because we really want to get this couple here as soon as possible. So we've had to be really creative with our fundraising strategies to try and expand our reach as far as we possibly can. So we'll be doing things like holding an event in the new year. We have a presence on social media, and we've really been reaching out to everybody that we know to try and spread the word on what we're doing. It's also a big challenge to remain patient. So even when we reach our fundraising goal, this process definitely does take time. So we know that we need to be okay with waiting, but it will be so worth it in the end when we can finally greet them at the airport. And that's the part that I think about every single day.
Okay, thank you. And you use one of my words as well, and that one of the biggest challenges is the waiting. You know, even when you have a team, when you have the funds raised, it could take a long time for that to come through. But you know something, I also see that as a time when we form relationship too. That's when we connect. That's when we have our daily or regular contacts with people. And we start to build a relationship that only gets better when they arrive here. So for me, that's a very important part of that journey. And the other feeling is too, I guess, is when we become aware of what's out there, we want to do more and more and more. We want to raise awareness more. We want more people to know. I don't think there's hardly a person that I've talked to who knew about this program before we started to talk. And for me, that's always a challenge. Like, how come people don't know about this? Is it because we're so used to government doing everything for us? And this is something that we can do ourselves to help others. And that's what's so powerful about it. So thank you for that question.
Powerful for sure. What has your favorite part of the journey been so far?
So my favorite part by far of this journey has been building a friendship with the couple that we're sponsoring. Like we figured out already that we have so much in common with them, and so it feels really surreal knowing that we're actually going to get to hang out with them and spend time with them in person. One of the things that I've said to them is, I miss you, even though we haven't met in person yet. So they're just really, really incredible human beings. And it's one of my biggest privileges to be able to know them. So they're my favorite part of the process for sure.
Amazing.
I could probably say something similar. I think one of my favorite parts of this journey was something that Shams alluded to, is when your friend walks through that gate at Terminal 1 at Pearson International Airport, and for the first time in 9 years, they have felt free. You really are speechless to experience that moment, and probably Madi could speak to that as well because it's very fresh for him.
The chance. Really, I don't know how to express my feeling toward about especially David and Stefan, all my sponsors, and all Canadian people who are hardworking, especially for refugee and want to sponsor. Really, when I was in Indonesia, I don't have future. I don't thinking about life. Just we had stress, and on that time was very difficult for me. Not for me, especially for all refugee. And the situation was really bad there. So I hope in here want to try to contact with many Canadian people and want to sponsor other my refugee. And they are living in the situation. We can't say too bad. That's really hard and difficult for them. So I hope every refugee get a resettlement soon as possible, and the third country. So now I have feel free. I'm really comfortable. This night is very special for me. After a long time, I meet in person David and other Canadian people. So it's really amazing. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I do just have one last question. What do you think is a really important piece of advice for someone looking to get into sponsorship?
Yeah, so the main thing that I would tell somebody who's thinking about becoming a sponsor or who is about to start the process themselves is that it really changes your life in such a positive way right from the beginning. So I'm still very early in my sponsorship journey, and we definitely do have a long way to go. But the connection that we've built together and thinking about how much hope we have for the future has already left a huge impact on my life. And, I came into this work with CRBBT not even knowing anything about the PSR program and with no experience with refugees. And now it's my plan to volunteer with CRBBT indefinitely because of how much this project means to me. So I would say, what I've gotten out of this process has already been so much more than the work that I've put into it. And it has really been life-changing.
Amazing. It sounds like you've learned a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll just add a few words to that too. I wrote down a couple of points, and one is just to be courageous and to allow the process to happen as you get to know not only the person that you're going to support, but also the team that you pull together. Initially, many of us, like Jillian, we talked to our friends, we got a team together, but then after a while, we had to reach beyond our network to find people who would get involved. So I really encourage teams to really work together to support each other through the journey, because it takes all of us to make it really successful. And I think we need to be prepared to learn a lot about other cultures that we think we understand, but there's so much learning that we can do when we listen and when we engage with other people. So our worldview changes dramatically. So that to me is really important when we make new friends, not only with our newcomers, but also with the friends that we put around ourselves through these teams. And my last point there is, I oftentimes don't use the word refugee. I just use another human being that we are bringing together. And I had a story one time about talking to a friend who did an interview and got very connected to somebody. And I realized that when we take out the word refugee, we put that person's name in there, we form a human connection. And that's what this is all about, is forming a human connection. So that's what I want to really stress. That's important.
Thank you, David. Yeah, that's awesome. You can never learn too much, and there's always more to learn. So having that open mind and just being ready to learn from the people that we want to support is number one for sure. Thank you both for answering those questions and clarifying that for us.
Thank you, Kiana. So I believe up next we have a video from Ali Narwan.
Well, let me just play that video and please let me know if you can hear the sound this time.
Hello everyone, good morning, good evening. I hope you're all doing well, friends who's watching my video. This is Ali Narwan from Afghanistan. Over 9 years I'm living in Indonesia and waiting for resettlement to that country. But I still no any good news from UNHCR. Every time I go into UNHCR office, they are just tell me to wait and be patient. I don't know how long it will take to resettlement to that country. I hope this resettlement call happens soon because my mom is getting sick in Afghanistan and it is really tough for me, and this is really painful for me that I can't do anything for my mom from here. And also I don't have anyone else to, I'm the oldest son of my family, so my dad were killed by Taliban. So I don't have anyone else to support my family or to take care of my family. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother, but still they are not too old that can take care of my mom and my family. So I hope this resettlement call happens soon. This pain is really challenging me. It's really hard for me to handle these days. Also, I get out from this situation. In the end, I just want to say thanks for Canadian friends who is always helping refugees, always support refugees, not in Indonesia and overall the world. So I just want to say thanks for attention to refugees, for listening the speech of refugees. May God bless you always, and thank you.
Cooking lunch.
I think that's kabli pulao. This looks yummy.
So this is chutney.
So that was one of our friend from Indonesia, Ali, and thank you for sending us this amazing video. We have learned their lifestyle also. and that amazing yummy food as well. Now, let's just move on to our next topic, which is virtual art gallery. Exceptionally talented artists we have, and we do not want to waste that talent back in Indonesia. So let me just share with you a slide. Just want to ask you if you can see my screen and everything is good. Oh, okay. So let me just start the video. Oh, look at how exceptionally talented people we have. And I would like to mention the fact that we have received many other art pieces as well. And what we have did just try to pick few of them due to time constraints as well. So if I have missed any of those, please pardon me for that. And next time we will try to do it better.
Thank you. Yeah, it's still playing.
So that was our virtual art gallery. Now, for those folks who have just joined us today, let me just give you a quick tour of our website, which is called CanadiansandRefugees.com. And on this website, apart from general information, you will find two different types of databases under registration tab. So once you will click on register tab, you will see two more links. One is for register as a caring community member, under which you can register as a volunteer. If you would like to sponsor someone, you can register as well. And if you just you are thinking to help someone, you can do that way as well. And if you are a refugee, then you have to click on this link and follow the instructions. And once you will fill, we will receive your responses automatically, and it will get updated in our database. So those are two databases which we are maintaining at the moment. And apart from that, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you can follow us on all those social media platforms in order to stay connected with us. Now, another tab is resources, where you can get information related to Canada, how to fill application, how to get connected with other people, and also our partner organizations. Northern Lights is one of our partner organization, then Hazara Hope, and there is one organization called Aman, which is in Turkey, and we keep developing new partnerships as well. For refugee artwork, we are also trying to collaborate with the Toronto Art Council. Nothing yet finalized, but we are just trying our level best. Then if you go to media, you will see here newsletters. So time to time, we are having our newsletters as well, where we try to publish the activities, events. And as you can see in this newsletter, that was one of our last event, which held in the month of August at Riverdale Park. And that was an in-person event where we celebrated diversity along with newcomers and sponsors. And we shared success stories as well. And other stories, you can see partnership building, and then ARIST, which we are going to talk about after this. And these are the few highlights from that in-person event. So that's something about our website, databases, and newsletter. And we will also send you all these resources in a day or two after this webinar. So that will be useful. Now, next agenda item, let me just go to the agenda. The next item is ARIST course launch, which is prepared by one of our colleague Nadia, and she is not well today. So let me just share with you ARIST as well. So ARIST is an online learning platform, which is actually a bite-sized learning platform. And you get bite-sized learning in terms of messages. Either you can register with your phone number, or you can register with WhatsApp. And every day you get to learn a small message, which will give you information about this Fuji project. And it's not in months or in weeks, it's just in days. In few minutes, you can learn every day about this amazing project. And also you can learn about the resources, the activities. And this is just for a few minutes every day. Now, let me share with you how to access this. So first of all, the purpose of this course is to educate, inspire, engage Canadians to become volunteers, sponsors, or philanthropists in support of the Canadian private refugee sponsorship process. This is the link of the ARIST program, course. Else you can scan this QR code and it will take you to that registration page, and then just completing your name and email and phone number, then it will register you in that course. And after that, you will get every day messages on your phone if you are registered with SMS, and if you registered with WhatsApp number, then you will get WhatsApp messages on your phone as well. So that's something about ARIST, and we are so excited about this project. And I would like to request all of you to please scan this code and get registered, and you will learn about this amazing project. And I will also share ARIST link as well after the webinar. So that was something about ARIST, which is an online learning platform. This is one of our program flyer, which we would like to request you to share in your communities to spread the word. And in this flyer also, you can get information how to get involved, how to register as a sponsor, how to register as a refugee, and please feel free to share it in your respective communities. We have sponsorship and volunteer opportunities for everyone. And for that also, you just need to scan this QR code and you can become a caring community member. So those were a few of the resources which I have shared with you, and we will share with you in an email also after the webinar. And now let's just move on to next agenda item. Now I would like to request David if he can talk about corporate social responsibility and how to get involved. Please, David, if you can unmute yourself and if you can just talk about corporate social responsibility.
Okay, thank you, Mian. And I just wanted to say how powerful that artwork was. It was breathtaking. And that we got so many more to show as well in the future. And we're looking at how we can do that to really raise awareness. Corporate social responsibility is something that we believe pretty strongly in. And it's really a challenge for all of us, I think, to open up doors, to get people to talk, to listen. And, you know, we are a society right now that doesn't like to read too much. We tend not to read a lot. We tend to want bite-sized pieces, and that's why the ARIST program can be really helpful. But we really believe that, and we want to find corporations that are willing to get involved to promote this program to their employees, to encourage their employees to build teams. And it can also be incredibly helpful around preparing people for work in the future too. So we are actively trying to build those relationships. And the things that I've learned, I think, through this process is that it takes one-to-one conversation a lot. You know, we've got great people here tonight that are going to help communicate this, but it's up to each one of us to kind of reach out, have a conversation, share a personal story, and see if we can see a spark of interest in somebody who's willing to get more involved. So we believe strongly in the need for corporate social responsibility. We want to be able to build programs with the resources that we can obtain to help people prepare for their journey to Canada. Because as other folks have said, it's not always easy. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to integrate into a new world, a new society. And that's where I think that we can really involve corporations to get involved. For me, that's critical. And we're going to do our best one by one. And it's a slow building process. I think some of us get impatient at times, but we've got to take it one step at a time to try to build those bridges and to get people to listen to us. So do we do fundraisers? Do we do corporate galas? However we do it, or we reach out to our network, it's one person at a time that will make a difference. So please, the other folks contribute to that conversation as well. That's just all I wanted to say about the importance of this being a corporate social responsibility as well as an individual.
That's very well said, David. And it's always it's not one person's responsibility. And we know BMG has done a lot, and they are strong believer that corporate social responsibility should be a shared responsibility, and only then we can create caring communities for our future. And that was David Bonds, and thank you so much, David. And keeping in view over time also, I think we are well on time, and that's the last section which is allocated for question and answers. And if there is anything, if any one have any question, then they can just raise their hands, and we will try to answer that. And in chat, I have mentioned our social media handles, which are on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share over social media as well in order to stay connected with us. Now, I would like to ask if there is any question. Feel free to raise your hands, as we are already 1 minute, which is, I think, which is fine, but still, if there is anything. Yes, Anna, please go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Anna from UAE, originally from Sudan. I would like to ask about the sponsoring because for me, I tried to apply to the UN in UAE here, but I didn't receive any response. And due to the war in my country, I cannot go back and I have kids. And on this year, in the middle of the year, I lost my job. I tried to find another job, but it's still difficult situation. I tried to immigrate to Canada, to US, but I didn't find any chance. So I tried to speak with some organization in Canada and United States, but no response also. They told me the only way it's to find a sponsor in Canada or in US, but until today I didn't find any way. So when I found this webinar, I found a chance to speak or to get some information and to take some advice from you, all of you, if you can help me.
Thank you so much, Anna. First of all, I would like to advise you, if you are not yet registered, please visit our website, which is canadianandrefugees.com. And if you fulfill that criteria as a refugee, which is you have to have a UNHCR documentation, or else if you are registered in that country as a refugee, that's, I believe, the basic criteria. Please register there as well, and we have a database, a list of those people which are connected with us and who are having those complete documents. In case if you do not have, then there are other options like sponsorship agreement holder organizations or other sponsorship organizations which we can share with you. And for that, our email is canadians.refugees@rethink policy change, which I'm going to type in chat as well. So please connect with us personally as well. We will try to help you in our limited capacity, whatever we can.
I will, because I have a children. I have 2 daughters. They are in school age right now, 6 and 5 years, and I cannot afford. I'm trying every day to find a work, to find something to help myself and to help them, but I cannot. And my husband, he's in Sudan right now, and he cannot come because he don't have permanent visa here in UAE. So my situation is difficult, especially for the kids, because I don't want them to miss the schools. That's why I'm trying to do my best. I was working as a nurse assistant and caregiver, and before I was working as a teaching assistant in autism center for 8 years, and I work in office also for 6 years. But this year I couldn't find any job after I lost my job last in the middle of the year. So until now, nothing. So I need help. That's why I came to this webinar to ask all of you if someone can help me or advise me to do the right thing.
As I said, it varies from case to case also. So I have just mentioned the email address in the chat. Please take your time and connect with us, and we will try to guide you best of our ability. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
So we are, I think we need to wrap up as well. If we have another question, let's just quickly take that as well, and then we can wrap up today's session.
I see a hand up.
Yes, Mong, if I'm pronouncing your name correct, please.
Mong. Hi everyone, this is Maula Ming from the world largest refugee camps, Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. It's really proud and feel guilt to hear all of you about the refugee sponsorships and in details. So I have a question there. Is there any opportunity for the Rohingya refugees who are living in the world largest refugee camps where the refugees are living with overcrowded area and facing so many challenges, and you know it is really it's really difficult for them, difficult and challenges for them to face the situations, to have this situation. So is there any opportunity for them to get the sponsorships and to get the sponsorships in Canada?
With regards to private sponsorship, and the rules are, in order to get sponsored, you need to have UNHCR documents, or you need to have of that country's documents which can prove that you are a refugee status holder in that country. And after that, you need to find teams in Canada, which we are trying our level best to raise awareness, not only raise awareness, but also to connect refugees with Canadians. And that's why the name of this project is called Canadians and Refugees Building Bridges Together. And if you are not yet registered, also you can register on our website. And once your turn will come, and we will try to find a team for you. And apart from that, we can share some resources also with you. And
I am
David,
registered. I am registered there. I am registered there, and also I have a Unicia cards and a family Unicia card, everything. We are registered here since 2017 by the Unicia.
that's good to know. As you can see, we all are volunteers here, and we are just trying to help each other in our limited capacity, without any funding or without any help. But hopefully, once your turn will come, we would be able to arrange something for you. So, David, if you would like to say something at the end, any closing remarks, anything?
I just want to say thank you for everybody to give us this amount of time tonight to have this conversation. A special big thanks to our friends in Indonesia and now Bangladesh and Stan who joined us tonight. It's wonderful to see your faces here. We see many of you on Sunday mornings or Sunday evening for you, and really appreciate you getting up so early in the morning to join us today. So thank you so much. That's wonderful to see you. And we will all keep doing our best to build awareness, to find sponsors. And yeah, so that's all I want to say. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, David. And thank you, everyone, for showing up. And it was a fantastic evening to learn the experiences from all of you. And great to see you. I think that's the time to wrap up. It's already 10 minutes past. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
And have a
everyone.
good evening. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.